It all began in a simple suburban garage. The year was 1976. Los Altos, California was the place. This garage belonged to the parents of Steve Jobs. He was a young man with a vision. He saw a future where computers were personal. His friend, Steve Wozniak, was a brilliant engineer. Together, they were a dynamic pair. Jobs had the drive and the marketing mind. Woz had the technical genius to build their dreams. This humble beginning would spark a revolution that changed the world. The Apple I was their first creation. It was essentially a pre-assembled motherboard. Users still had to add a case, a power supply, a keyboard, and a display. It was a far cry from the sleek devices we know today, but it was a start, a bold first step. This garage wasn't just a workspace, it was a symbol. It represented the spirit of American ingenuity. Jobs and Wozniak poured their hearts and souls into their work. They sold some of their prized possessions to fund their venture. Jobs sold his Volkswagen van. Wozniak sold his HP 65 calculator. These sacrifices showed their commitment. The name Apple itself is part of this origin story. Jobs thought the name sounded fun, spirited, and not intimidating. The garage was the fertile ground from which a giant would grow. The Apple. I was a modest success among electronics enthusiasts, but it was the Apple II that truly put the company on the map. Launched in 1977, the Apple II was a game-changer. It came in a sleek, plastic case, it had color graphics, it had a built-in keyboard. This was a computer designed for ordinary people. It found its way into homes and schools. It became one of the first mass-produced personal computers. The Apple II fueled the company's rapid growth. Then came the Macintosh in 1984. This was another revolutionary product. It introduced the graphical user interface to a wide audience. The famous 1984 Super Bowl commercial announced its arrival. The Macintosh was a marvel of design and engineering. However, its high price and closed architecture initially limited its market share. Internal tensions were also rising within Apple. Steve Jobs clashed with the company's board and then CEO John Sculley. In 1985, Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple. Jobs was devastated but not defeated. He went on to found Next Computer and acquired Pixar. Meanwhile, Apple, without Jobs, struggled. By the mid-1990s, Apple was in serious trouble. In a stunning twist, Apple acquired Next in 1997. This brought Steve Jobs back to the company he co-founded. Jobs faced an enormous challenge, but his return marked the beginning of one of the greatest corporate turnarounds in history. Steve Jobs' return to Apple heralded a new era. He quickly set about revitalizing the company. He streamlined the product line. He focused on a few key projects. One of his first masterstrokes was the Think Different advertising campaign. It celebrated creativity, rebellion, and innovation. This campaign wasn't just about selling computers, it was about re-establishing Apple's identity. This set the stage for a remarkable product renaissance. The first major product of this new era was the iMac G3, launched in 1998. It came in a vibrant, translucent Bondi blue case. It was an all-in-one design. It was easy to set up and use. The iMac was a statement. It declared that computers could be beautiful and fun. It was a massive hit. It brought Apple back to profitability. Next came the iPod in 2001. The iPod was small, sleek, and incredibly easy to navigate with its click wheel. It famously promised 1,000 songs in your pocket. Paired with the iTunes software and music store, it revolutionized the music industry. Then, in 2007, came the iPhone. Steve Jobs introduced it as 3 revolutionary products in one: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. The success of the iPod, iPhone, and later the iPad propelled Apple to unprecedented heights. The company that was once on the brink of collapse transformed. It became a global powerhouse. Its financial performance soared. Revenue and profits grew at an astonishing rate. Apple consistently delivered products that consumers loved. Products that were beautifully designed. Products that were easy to use. Products that just worked. This focus on user experience created intense brand loyalty. Customers eagerly awaited each new product announcement. They lined up outside Apple stores to be the first to own the latest devices. Apple's market capitalization reflected this incredible success. In 2018, Apple became the first publicly traded US company to reach a $1 trillion valuation. It later surpassed $2 trillion and even $3 trillion. Apple wasn't just selling hardware anymore. It had built a vast ecosystem. This ecosystem included software like iOS and macOS. It included services like the App Store, iCloud, Apple Music, and Apple TV+. This combination of hardware, software, and services created a powerful lock-in effect. Users invested in one Apple product were more likely to buy others. Under the leadership of Tim Cook, who succeeded Steve Jobs as CEO in 2011, Apple has continued to grow. Cook has overseen the expansion of Apple's services business. He has guided the company into new product categories like wearables with the Apple Watch. He has also emphasized Apple's commitment to privacy and environmental sustainability. Apple today is a testament to both Jobs' vision and Cook's stewardship. Apple is not a company that rests on its laurels. Despite its enormous success, it continues to invest heavily in research and development. Billions of dollars are poured into R&D each year. This investment fuels the creation of future products and services. Apple is always looking for the next big thing. It aims to develop technologies that will define the future. This forward-looking approach is crucial for maintaining its leadership position. One key area of investment is custom silicon. Apple has been designing its own chips for years. The A-series chips in iPhones and iPads are industry-leading. More recently, Apple transitioned its Mac computers from Intel processors to its own M-series chips. This move has been a resounding success. It has delivered significant performance and efficiency gains. Designing its own chips gives Apple greater control over its products. It allows for tighter integration of hardware and software. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are other major focus areas. AI and ML are increasingly integrated into Apple's products and services. Siri, Apple's virtual assistant, relies on AI. Features like facial recognition, image processing, and predictive text also use ML. Apple is investing in AI to make its devices smarter and more intuitive. Looking further ahead, Apple is rumored to be working on several futuristic products. Augmented reality and virtual reality are high on the list. Apple has been acquiring AR/VR companies and hiring talent in this space. Many expect Apple to release an AR/VR headset or smart glasses in the coming years. There have also been persistent rumors about an Apple car. These bold bets show Apple's ambition to shape the future. Despite its immense power and success, Apple faces a complex and challenging future. The tech industry is fiercely competitive. Companies like Google, Samsung, Microsoft, and Amazon are constantly innovating. They are vying for market share in areas where Apple operates. New players from emerging markets are also rising. Apple cannot afford to become complacent. It must continue to deliver groundbreaking products and services. It needs to stay ahead of the curve. The pressure to innovate is relentless. Every new product launch is scrutinized intensely. Regulatory pressures are another significant challenge. As Apple has grown, so has the scrutiny from governments around the world. Antitrust concerns have been raised about its App Store policies. Questions about its market power are common. Lawmakers and regulators are examining Apple's business practices. They are considering new rules that could impact its ecosystem. Apple must navigate these complex regulatory landscapes carefully. Maintaining its unique company culture is also vital. Apple's culture, shaped by Steve Jobs, emphasizes secrecy, perfectionism, and design excellence. As the company has grown, preserving this culture has become more challenging. Succession planning is also an ongoing consideration. Tim Cook has led Apple successfully for over a decade, but planning for future leadership transitions is crucial for long-term stability. Ultimately, Apple's future will depend on its ability to continue to do what it has always done best, to imagine and create products that enrich people's lives. The next chapters of Apple's story are yet to be written.